Hi everyone, welcome to Membership Voice. I'm Kero O'Shea, the coordinator of The Voice and the host for this evening's webinar. A very special welcome to tonight's presenter, past Governor Deb Gimblett of Rotary Ōtautahi Passport. Hi Deb, how are you?
Hi Kero, thank you for having me.
That's really great that you're here. I've been looking forward to this one. But before we go any further, I want to acknowledge the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, the traditional custodians of the land on which I'm hosting tonight's webinar, acknowledge the strength of their continuing culture and offer my respect to elders present and emerging. And of course, it's Reconciliation Week in Australia, and so there's some wonderful things happening here at the moment. But now let's get into it. A passport to a better Rotary future, to be presented by Deb Gimblett. Over to you, please, Deb.
Kia ora, and thank you for inviting me to talk about the journey of starting up a new Rotary Club. A little bit about myself. I'm obviously Deb Gimblett. I joined Rotary back in 2003 when my husband and I moved from Napier, Hawke's Bay, to a little place by the seaside called Foxton. We had bought our own pharmacy, and when we moved there, we knew absolutely nobody. So my husband had been a Rotarian in one of the breakfast clubs, the Artillery Breakfast Club in Napier, and he said to me, "Why don't you join Rotary?" And I thought, no, he can go off and I can have a night. I don't have to cook. So anyway, I had my arm twisted, and honestly, it was one of the best things that I could have done because it really helped me get to know the other business people, and I met new people and new friends along the way. So 2003, that was then. Very quickly, I became president 2007 and an assistant governor 2008, and for my sins, I got invited to be district governor back in 2014. My husband actually said to them, "Be careful, are you sure you really want her? Because she does things differently." And they said, yeah, it's because we want things done differently that they invited me to the role. So they got different, believe me. So after that, I was the district membership chair for about 2-3 years. We ran a few national membership seminars. And then I became assistant that was district, wasn't it? Yeah. So then assistant coordinator back in 2016-19, and that's when I ran the national seminars with Benny Hearing, another past district governor. And I still am, I'm the chair for the South Pacific President-elect's Development Seminar, where we train in New Zealand. We take all our incoming presidents once a year, usually around March. And it used to be in Auckland, but COVID took care of that. We've done the last two on Zoom, and we're with the management team. So we ask the incoming district governors what do they want, and we make it happen for them. So I'm in my last year of being co-chair on that. And again, the latest thing I am is we launched on the 18th of March. I'm president of our new Rotary Ōtautahi Passport Club. So that kind of hopefully gives a little bit of a background. Okay, so back in 1947, Paul Harris said this back then. And I think what's happened is we were very current back in 117, 118 years ago because we were all new and exciting. But as time has gone on, 118 years on from that, and we're still using the same model of Rotary, except for a handful of e-clubs, satellite clubs, and now the new passport model. Over the last 18 years, I've seen firsthand myself how, as an organisation, Rotary has struggled to keep up with our changing times and communities' needs. I've always struggled myself with the weekly guest speakers and the dinner meetings. I joined Rotary to be part of an organisation that did stuff and did things locally and overseas. Now, it's really interesting. Jennifer Jones is spot on, and our current international president is spot on. Jennifer says, starting a new club is one of the most effective tactics for expanding our reach and increasing our impact, two of our key strategic priorities. And we have to resist the thinking that new clubs are competitors of existing clubs and embrace the opportunity to offer personal growth, mentoring and networking, etc., etc. And then our current international president says cause-based clubs can be a way of engaging. I can't see the whole screen, but anyway, flexible clubs, and we are definitely flexible, our model. The order of the day. So it's really, really important that club members can take that on. What's needed to start a new club? Well, patience, connections, commitment to growing Rotary, support from the district members, which I've had untold, time and energy, and lots of coffee. For someone who doesn't drink coffee, I've had a lot of coffee stops, but it does take a lot of time, but it's exciting at the same time. So we talked about the need for new clubs to grow Rotary. Asking existing clubs to do things differently isn't growing Rotary fast enough. I was asked to lead a team to come up with a new style of Rotary. Okay, who were the key players? Who did we need? Well, the thing that's missing off here, I've realised, is you have one keen past district governor, myself, and next I should have had the district members because it was the district on a district level that they approached me. So we're going to pop the district members in there. And then you've got members like alumni, ex-Rotarians, existing Rotarians, guest speakers, parents of Rotary youth programs, and a list which make up a list of potential members that you can have a look at for how do we find people. So that's certainly a good place to start. So we had heard, how did we come up with a passport model? We had heard about the passport model on My Rotary when we were looking at new clubs. So we went in and downloaded, there's a really good handout on passport models on the My Rotary site. So we went there, and the other thing that we downloaded was the 9 steps of starting a new Rotary club. And we discovered that there was a lot of, when we started reading, that we discovered there's a lot of flexibility to this model. As it says on the yellow part here, what is a passport club? You can be based anywhere in the district, meeting less frequently with, oh gosh, that sounds all right. Suitable, affordable fees, that really hit a few buttons, and that you would be doing stuff rather than sitting all the time. So we like the twice a month thing. So it removes the cost barriers to joining Rotary because there's no meals, there's no sergeant sessions, you don't have to do all that sort of stuff. We don't have a fixed abode. So that was something else that some of the more existing, more traditional clubs find a bit hard to get around. Well, why don't you meet in the same place each week? Because we don't, basically. At our first meeting, we decided not to confine ourselves to one part of town. So our name is Ōtautahi Christchurch. So we don't have a suburb. We have a much wider reach than that. We even go further afield, as in out to Kaiapoi, Belfast. And I've actually had 2 approaches from people completely out of town, one of them in the North Island. And so we're looking at how we can make that work for them. They could be a member of our club but still get involved in the projects up in the town that they're in. And then if they want, they can come down here for 1 or 2 when we do maybe some big projects. So we haven't discounted them. We're just looking at how we can make that work. We focus more on our members and what is important to them rather than meetings. We don't have meetings for meetings' sake. We certainly don't do that. We've always usually got something on the go. So how did we get started? Well, I first met with the District Growing Rotary Committee, and like 200%, I've had their support and they've been really helpful. I was given, because I was new to the district, I've come from the North Island, I'm in the south now. I myself didn't have a lot of contacts, but the district members did. So they gave me these links, and that's why I ended up having lots of coffee and lots of meetings, because they left the names and the contacts for me to contact. So we then set a date for the first meeting. What else have I got here? Oh, when I made contact with people, it was often sometimes by text, by phone. The best way to get hold of them, the younger members, is by text, and that's something that I've had to get my head around. They don't always respond straight away, and if you do leave them a message, they don't on the phone. They don't necessarily respond. So that was interesting, and I've since been told that people don't respond or are slow to respond to emails and voicemails. Only 5% reply to voicemail messages, and 85% don't open their emails. So you really do have to think about other ways of communicating with people today. We developed a new application form, which was to be given to everybody when they confirmed that they wanted to join. Finally, in July last year, we organised a meeting of ex-Rotarians and Rotarians who we knew who were unhappy and had asked what would it take for them to come back or to keep them in Rotary and not to leave. We held this meeting. It was actually held at my place. I was, because I'm so new to the district, I was neutral ground. And we said to them, why were you here? What had brought you along tonight? Because they'd been given a brief from somebody who had invited them. And what could we do to keep them in Rotary? And at the same time, we gave them a very simple outline of what we were looking at in the passport model. So these people were they were either still existing Rotarians or ex-Rotarians who had left for a mix of reasons. So after their feedback, it became a very common thread that their feeling of the theme was very much not feeling valued, not doing enough, too big of a time commitment, too expensive, and sadly, there were some bullying comments by male members towards the female members. So we'd had that meeting. We separated the new members to existing and ex-Ro members. So what we did is, after we got that out of the way, and we kept them on a tight time frame too. We didn't want them at my place for it to become excuse the expression, a bitch session. So we had a timekeeper which kept them. They were allowed 3 minutes to verbalise what they were feeling, how they were feeling, and why, and then we moved on to the next person. So this meeting at McDonald's, and I thought when I joined Rotary back in 2003, I never ever dreamed that I'd be having a meeting at McDonald's, but we did at Miraval, and they have a wonderful glass partitioned 2 meeting rooms, a small one and a bigger one. So we had our first public meeting there with new members, and what we did is we okay, so I've got a So what we did is DG Nick and I spoke on the night. We spoke about Rotary being a volunteer organisation, the benefits to belonging. We talked loosely about the passport model, what it could look like, letting them know that nothing was written in concrete and that we were there to be flexible and to make this model appealing and work for them. We asked people attending on the night why'd you come along? What had caught their interest? So what we did is we split the group into smaller groups, working groups, and we asked them 3 questions. What would you like to get out of this new Rotary Club? What would encourage you to join the volunteer organisation? And what opportunities do you see contributing to your for contributing to your community? Now, we had 3 questions there, and I'd actually add a 4th one to that today. And that would be, and this has come from a new member, he said, I was never asked, what could I bring to the party? So I thought, okay, fair point. So what skills could they bring to the organisation? We had them complete a mini club visioning of sorts. We had community ideas and project ideas. We'd loosely put them in the 7 areas of focus. And on the night, we had some, I think they were red dots, and we had them sticker them. So that gave us an idea of what their interests were. So we kind of knew where to maybe go or to get started. It showed us very clearly that mental health, environment, and poverty were the key topics of interest. And we've recently just had another planning session. And these haven't changed. If anything, they've got stronger, particularly with COVID and the issues that have gone on with COVID. So we're still mental health, environment and poverty strong. So we are definitely cause-driven. Some of our projects for the future, near future and the future are certainly highlighted with those areas, which I'll cover off in a minute. On the night, we had the District Chair of International Services speak on club projects, giving us a small picture of what Rotary clubs were doing here in Christchurch and globally. We gave them the websites and the Facebook pages and the Rotary Today brochures to give them a wee bit more information on Rotary. And we also we felt it was important that on the night that they didn't go away empty-handed, if you like. So we had come up with a small project idea, and all it was, and it went really well. We had a working bee at my place, the members that came along, and we had bought, we were given a whole lot of toilet bags. And so we borrowed a stole products to go in the toilet bags for male and female. And so we had a mixture of female toilet bags and male toilet bags. And then we approached the Women's Refuge, and they took all of them for us, because they look after the men as well. And the very day that we delivered them to them, she told me later that they gave out 4 toilet bags that same day that we'd given them. So that was quite good. So it's really important to this group, because we're there to do stuff, that we are doing stuff. So if you're going to do it, you need to have 1 or 2 very simple project ideas in mind, so they've got a reason to come back. So they told us that they wanted to belong to a volunteer group. We started planning. That's some of the stuff I've been talking about. And it's really important to start acting like a club. Don't wait. Because if you wait, you're not doing anything and you lose them. So act as if you are a club, plan a couple of projects, and then set dates. So we left there with another date to meet, which was really important. And if you start acting like a club, please check out with your district insurers that you are covered by your, I hate that word, but your provisional stall, that you are covered. Our district down here, we are, and I know in 9940 that we were as well. Okay, so we set a date to meet again, and we talked about what to call ourselves. It was decided that we wanted to be more inclusive and modern in our choice of a name, and it was suggested to have Ōtautahi Christchurch. We went to our local iwi, and some months later, we got their blessing to use the name Ōtautahi Passport. If you're thinking of using a local, the language of your country name, it does take quite some time, so be prepared. If you want to do that, just allow time to do that. So the outcome of the first meeting was that they decided to meet fortnightly. Mondays was good because everybody's busy the rest of the week, but most people were free on a Monday. So it seemed to work for most people, and they decided that if it falls on a Monday, if a public holiday falls on a Monday, which often they do throughout the year, we would automatically just default to a Tuesday. So that was pretty easy. We have brunches, dinners, movie nights. We celebrate members' birthdays. They get a mixture of cupcakes with a candle or a chocolate fish in its own individually wrapped. And they love it. They love that sort of stuff. We communicate by a group WhatsApp. We don't have a weekly bulletin. We have a Facebook page, Rotary Ōtautahi Passport. Please go and have a look and like us. We need to widen our reach yet. We have no fixed abode. We meet in members' homes, places of interest like Loft, which we're now developing a very good partnership with. Maryborough McDonald's, we will go back there now because COVID stopped them from having us coming. They shut the doors on community groups, so we don't get charged for going there. That's why we like it. And it's actually quite nice. You get a nice coffee from McDonald's. And we've also had a couple of meetings in hotels, which are very, very nice to have there as well. We are investing in good public image and branding. We've got 2 teardrop banners, high-vis jackets, club brochures. Money is put aside in our budget to further these resources. And I have to acknowledge our district here. Our district has given us $4,000 towards starting up a new club. We don't get that per se as in our bank account, but any setup costs, like the 2 teardrop banners, it's gone to district to pay, and I'm just about ready to publish our club brochure, and it's about $300 to $400 worth, so that will go to our district. So that's setup costs. So you've got to be prepared. If you want to invest in a club, the district has to be prepared to spend a little bit of money. The other thing that's really important to this group is that everybody has a voice in the decision making, and the energy and enthusiasm is amazing. Our meeting process is very informal and inclusive of everyone. It is not the president standing up there, and it's not the directors of all the committees. We don't have a committee. We are one big committee. And that was an issue for a lot of them. They felt that a lot of the problems they had with the bigger clubs that they'd come from, the ex-Rotarians were existing, was that they just didn't know what was going on, and they weren't party to what the decisions that were being made. So for now, we are all making those decisions. If you're there on the night and you have a voice, then you get to have a say about relations. So the other thing that's really strong in us too is working in partnership with other community groups. We're physically going out and asking community groups. We let them know that we are a new Rotary group, we're cause-driven, project-driven, and that we'd love to know, is there anything that they need a helping hand with? So these 3 here on this slide is the loft at Eastgate Mall. The upstairs there's a medical practice, and beside them upstairs are 15 different community groups. They go from gambling to women's refuge to youth and child to many organisations. And so we're developing a wonderful relationship. We've done a letter, and we've sort of introduced ourselves, and we did an application form, and we've said, if there's anything that they might like a hand with, they're welcome to fill out the application form and get back to us. So I've been and had a talk with a couple of them. We've got a fundraiser coming up, and the 2 groups involved will be getting the proceeds will be Qtopia, who are the Rainbow Youth around Christchurch and wider area, and Maya Health, the child and youth mental health issues. So again, we said mental health was a big one for us, and so we're following through with that. We're having a big hypnotist show at the end of July, and that's where those proceeds are going to go to. Okay. So that covers off that. So the other things that we've done for investing in the club so far are the 2 teardrop banners that I mentioned. And then we've got a dozen, 12, 13 high-vis jackets with Rotarians that work on the back. And we've got about 4 branded Rotary aprons. So doing our projects is really, really, really important to us. So or being branded while we do them is really, really important to us. So some of the projects that we've done, as I say, don't wait to your chartered or launched. We don't say chartered, we say launched. We try and use a bit more modern wording. So because we didn't have a name, the very first photo on the left, because we didn't have a name, we just called ourselves the Rotary. So because like I said before, it took months for us to get a name. So we went out there and we got these multicoloured T-shirts, and we're at a tree planting there. It's actually a Rotary tree planting. So we did that, and then it's Ari and Janice at the Christmas gift wrapping that we did, and it's a beach cleanup, the next one, and we've done a barbecue and another beach cleanup. So we've done quite a lot really in the short time. We had our first meeting in July, and we chartered, or the certificate I've got. We became official on the 8th of March, and we launched on Zoom on the 18th, and we've just had our face-to-face last Friday. We always said that COVID wasn't going to stop us, but we would have a face-to-face a bit later. So we did that. And we certainly have lots of fun times where I'm having a quiz night, and we're at an ice cream gelato place on the right. And then the other one, we're carrying these bags, 3 brown paper bags. That was we did, the hospital staff were going through a really hard time with COVID. So we did 180 goodie bags, chocolate goodie bags, and we put a little business-sized card thanking them for everything that they do. And we had a contact person from our club in our name, and got this beautiful text back from them. So if you don't have any money, which we don't have, being a new club, you get creative, and it's more what we're there for, to be doing stuff. So the members have really enjoyed it. I've talked about our meetings are very informal and inclusive of everyone. We have stopped and asked the members. We've just checked them with them and sort of said, well, hey, what do you think about this model? Are you enjoying it? And they've said what they like about this model is the informal format of meetings, the fact that we all have a say and that we are there planning our next project, not wasting time having dinner each week, no sergeant sessions, and it's more affordable. Now, we do cover off, we're aware that finances are tight for people, so they are able to pay monthly as well as twice a year, like the traditional models we've always done. And it's more affordable because we don't have all the other extra costs. We always have a lot of fun and got high energy levels, and there's lots of new ideas. Like a couple of our younger ones, they're the ones that have come up with the Hypnotist show. Kelly's gone out there in the weekend, and she's been to so many different businesses, and she's got the most amazing prizes that will go on the night. So it's really good to see new ideas and enthusiasm coming through. Okay, our future, it's looking bright. We're very new relevant community projects that's coming from the younger ones, communicating with the community on what the community needs. We're very much in our community asking them what their needs are. And we're developing other strong community working relationships. And that's basically what I've just said, really. Lots of fun and laughter. We're building strong links with other Rotary clubs. We've done two, 3 different projects. We're part of being a Rotary club. You can go and help other clubs when they need a helping hand, and that's what we do. We did have to, and the members of our club decided this. We did one for freebie and gave it quite a lot of time, and they sort of said, hey, if we're going to do this, we need to get paid for our time. So now if we're talking about, hey, yeah, we're happy to come give you a hand, but we do need to have some financial gains from it as well. And I've not had anybody, when I've said that, who have backed off and sort of said, oh, well, we won't have you. So that was good. And we're definitely developing global connections with 1 or 2 people. And we are very much people of action. I'm just checking through my notes here. We've also, the boring paperwork side, we've had to develop a set of club bylaws and the paperwork to be an incorporated society. I'm just waiting on Ari to send me the finished club bylaws, and they'll be off. And then when they're in, we can start up our official bank account. And then the next step after we've done that, we'll be going for a charitable trust status in the next 3 to 4 months. Have we had the support of other clubs? My old club was not happy with the new club idea. They did feel threatened. And when we sort of stressed, well, we're only bringing in people really that we're either going to lose from Rotary, and isn't it better to keep them, or it's going to be community members who, for whatever reason, your weekly model and higher costs and stuff don't meet. So and because they knew our model was quite different, they sort of said, oh, well, you're not really Rotary, that's not Rotary. So we had to say, well, in actual fact, we are. We're just doing it differently. And I got to go and talk to a cluster group who our club was part of. And by the time I'd finished, I could kind of see the penny dropping for them. Oh, okay. Well, yes, you do pay RI fees, and yes, you do pay district fees, and you do pay club runner fees, and you get a magazine. So yeah, you are Rotary, but yeah, you're just doing it differently. So that was really good. Yeah, we just do it differently to what they know of as Rotary. Last Friday we had like I mentioned, we had our face-to-face and we had one new member come in from the community, which is really great, Alec. And then we had a transfer from another club. Now, our intention is not to take members from other clubs, because it'd be much better if we can bring in what I call newbies, fresh people from the community. But I just said it before, if these people are going to leave because of some of the reasons I've mentioned earlier, isn't it better to keep them in Rotary in a different model that it's appealing yeah. So anyway, to me, it's better to keep them in Rotary than to lose them completely. But we do have to, I've had one example already, and she sort of said, oh, it was 3 or 4 of us. And I said, no, go back and talk to your president. There's that many of you. You need to go back and even on a one-to-one outside of the club, go and talk to your presidents and let her know that there's there's a good number of you that are unhappy. And then if you can't solve it, come back and talk to me. But I don't really want to see you until you've done that. It has certainly had its moments. But has it been worth it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and I really do want to thank my district for their support. I see Dan there has some date. Jan is our incoming district governor for 9999, and David is one of our new members in our club. And I really enjoyed David. He's got a wicked sense of humour. Yeah, without the support of district, this job would have been quite difficult. So I really do appreciate the help they've given me. You must, if you're looking at a new club, you must have support from district. Thank you for listening. Has anybody got any questions?
Thanks, Deb. Well, I've got perhaps an opening question here. And it's more of a reflection, I suppose, but I would like you to comment on it. So you've created a new model of club, like a club that your cluster's not used to, and you've already started an educational process through talking to them about how it all works. You said you've seen the penny dropping. Do you see any further positives coming from that?
Yeah, I think we've had 2-3 clubs who one's lending us an EPOS machine. This coming weekend is our long Queen's Birthday weekend, and so we've got a shelter box, and we're going to do a fundraiser in one of the local malls in Hornby for 3 days. Mm-hmm. And so they're happy to lend us the EPOS machine. And so now that the penny's dropping and we're not a threat to them like they thought we were, I am hoping that more clubs will come to us. We've had another one who's a big potato thing right on the week of December, and they're quite keen because, again, he was at that meeting that I spoke to, and he sort of said, oh, so you could come and give us a hand. And that's when I said, well, yes, we will, but we will need to be paid something financial. And he said, well, what do you want? And I said, well, we're all Rotarians here. And I said, depending on the number that was able to help, you would just have to do a fair price. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Yes.
Super. Thanks, Deb. Well, we have a question there from Ingrid about the concept of a national passport club. Fascinating question. Over to you, Ingrid.
Thank you. Hi, Deb.
Hello, Ingrid.
Well, do you think a national passport club could work? So I'm thinking here of the concept of one that was across New Zealand doing national type projects.
I don't see why not. I actually got asked in the weekend from someone who was out of town, and I said, look, if even if you joined our club, okay, you'd maybe be like a cell or a sub or something, and you can go off and do. So if you were an official passport member of the Ōtautahi Club, you can go to any club in New Zealand or anywhere in the world really, and you can get involved in any project that they've got going, because you are a Rotarian. So do you need a national club? Join our club. but yeah. So yeah. I don't see why it wouldn't work. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So Claire, I'm from Dunedin, and we have a group who we've been tossing up with forming a satellite club. But when I was talking to one of our past district governors just recently, she said, you know what, a passport club might be a better option. Did you guys have a look at the satellite club option versus the passport club?
I have been involved in, because I've been on district for a while, and also in the other district where I came from, the lower half of the North Island.
Yeah.
A lot of the clubs, my experience anyway, a lot of the clubs have problems. Like the parent club has problems letting go. A satellite club really is an independent club, but the parent club, but their numbers go into the and it doesn't work. It doesn't work for a lot of those reasons. So a passport club, you're your own boss. The only problem is the satellite club. You only need, I think, 8, so you can get going quicker. But quicker may not be necessarily better.
Yeah. So just taking on from what Ingrid asked you, how would you feel about having a cell in Dunedin to get us up and running as a potential idea?
I think we need to probably carry on that offline. I don't see why it shouldn't work.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to think as well. I think there's lots and lots of potential, because everything you've just said has resonated so much with the conversations that we've been having. People are over weekly meetings, they just want to get on and do stuff, and we're being held up by stuff that Paul Harris would probably be turning in his grave over, to be honest. So yeah, I feel quite invigorated. Thank you so much for sharing tonight.
Oh, my pleasure. As I say, it takes time and it takes energy. My work is not finished by any means.
No,
it's a new club, and I do spend time on one-to-ones. Our youngest members just had a baby on Mother's Day.
Cool. Oh, that's lovely.
It's really neat.
Really lovely.
Yeah.
Really neat.
I'll get in touch, Deb. Jan's given me your contact details, so this was just fortuitous that it was the same day. So thank you.
Excellent. Okay, more than happy, Claire.
Thanks, Claire, and thanks, Deb. It looks like Ingrid has a follow-up here, so over to Ingrid.
I do, thank you, Caro, and this is to follow up on Claire's. What would the benefit be of being a cell of your passport club versus being your own passport club?
You wouldn't have to wait till you got your magic 20.
20 people, yeah.
And it could be that once you're there, we could look at you becoming a standalone club. You just transfer.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because we're looking at starting one up in Auckland potentially. So
good.
The other thing to be aware of is the EWASH Club, Ingrid, that was formed here in Dunedin, but it's actually an international club, and I think they've got members all around the world. But they came out of Dunedin. I was assistant district governor maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and they're still going really strong. So there's another option as well.
Yeah. And that's a cause-based. I'm familiar with that, and that's a cause-based club.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
Okay. Inaki has been waiting with a question here, so over to you, please, District Governor-elect Inaki.
Oh, hello, everybody, and thank you very much for your presentation, Deb. It was fabulous, and I'm really glad to see that other people struggle with screen sharing. It works well when you're practicing always, doesn't it? My question is, so what's the difference between a passport club then and an e-club? Is it more that...
club? Sorry?
Well, I just get the impression, I know an e-club can have people in, outside that local area, geographically different, but the passport club also seems to get together more online than they do in person. Is that the main difference?
So what was your understanding? The passport we mainly meet...
Well, what is the difference between a passport club and an e-club?
Okay. Could I offer a view here?
Yes, you certainly can.
Having launched an e-club, an e-club these days isn't a type of club. It's a format of meeting. Once upon a time, there were two types of clubs, e-clubs and ordinary clubs. Now the e-bit is something anyone can do. If you've got a conventional Rotary club and you want to have an e-night once a month for one of your meetings, you can do that. So there is no longer, like it's not in that list of 9 types of clubs. It's a format of meeting.
But Kiro, was it when it started, was it basically all over the world and met online? Is that how it started?
That's it. How it started was back in 2001, I think it was. E-clubs were set up for the same kind of thing you've been talking about, to stop good members leaving Rotary. And back then, there were 2 types of clubs, e-clubs and regular clubs. Now, that e-format with the exciting other changes in types of clubs, that option of meeting online is open to everyone. It's not a special category anymore.
Yes, and Andrew made that point when we were looking at naming ourselves and Passport. That's exactly what he said. He said, we no longer have e-clubs, Deb. He said they're just another Rotary club, and he said the satellite and in time your passport won't exist because you'll just be Ōtautahi. You won't need to have passports. So that's we're just another version of the e-club, but with a more modern version, I guess. And in time, that passport's going to go because we won't have any need for it.
Fantastic. Thanks, Iniki, and thanks, Deb. Deb, this issue of, I think it's important to explore this issue of members transferring from other clubs, because it's a vexed issue, and it's managing it collectively is going to see us retain good people. Obviously, you don't want to offend your fellow clubs in the cluster, but the law here in Western Australia about incorporation basically says that members own clubs rather than clubs owning members, which is the conventional view in some parts of Rotary. How can you see that relationship being developed so that we can keep those good people without denying them the option of moving to a more modern club?
Honestly, when this happened to me only in the weekend, I thought, oh dear, it's going to be not good for us if mass people are leaving. So really all I can say that I've come up with so far is that you need to go and talk to your president. And it needn't be in a club situation. It might be over a cup of coffee or a glass of wine somewhere. Tell them what you're unhappy about, what the issues are. And if you don't get anywhere, then I think I probably would the member that transferred that we welcomed in on Friday along with the new one, I had that very conversation with her, and I said, look, your president's actually been really understanding and supportive of our club, and I said, I really want you to go and talk with her, and I fully understand if at the end of the day, after having talked with her, that you change your mind and you want to say that that's absolutely okay. Please let me know when you've had that conversation. So Sunday night she texts me, and she said, hey, give me a call when you're free, which I did. And she said, no, look, it went really well. She really understood the issues, etc., etc. I'm still coming. So, yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. I think we've just got to be open and talk to people.
I think it really does, because what you've said there is it's about relationships. It's about maintaining those relationships. And I love that answer. Thanks, Deb. Mandy has a question.
Mandy's in our club.
Oh, fantastic.
You're muted.
I am. I'm not now. No. Hey, so what it comes down to further on to that question is that we've had a couple of people from one club come and say, we want to come. And Deb and I have talked about it, and the other club members we talk about this stuff a lot together, because it's a club think that we need to support our clubs and say to them, hey, if there's something going on in your club, it's a bigger discussion. It's not about you leaving, because that's just not going to help. Why is going on? And it's a bigger discussion that we ask them to have. And if it's a planning thing, then it needs to go to the district. If it's a culture thing. It needs to go to district. It's not, we don't want to become part of that because that's their thing and we don't want that. So, yeah. That's me. That's all.
Did you have a comment there, Deb?
Me?
Yes.
No, I agree with you. It's yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mandy, and thank you, David, for coming on. David, are you still there? Can't see you on the screen.
No, he's gone.
that is so David.
It is. That's all right.
This is Jan, who's our incoming district governor down here on the 2nd of July. She will be our current district governor. So, Jan very kindly said to David, "I think you would benefit. I think you should join this new club." And he did as he was told. And he's fun. He doesn't. He's not used to, like, we don't have a weekly bulletin, so we communicate. If there's business to discuss, we talk about it on WhatsApp. I am going to have to talk to one person. She's a little bit too chatty on it, so there's a little bit of learning how to use the WhatsApp. So that's a conversation for me to have with this one member. But look, the rest of the time, we've got a big project coming up. David's really on board with that. This is for March next year. So, yeah, he's good value. As I say, our ages range from 32. I thought it was 32 to 72, but someone came up to me and they said, "You need to widen your age bracket." I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because I'm turning 78. I went, "No," because he doesn't seem like what you think of as a 78-year-old. So I said, "Oh, well, I'm not going to say anything tonight because I'd already announced it." But a wonderful mix, a definite mix. We've got a same-sex couple who are married. So and mum with a young baby. So we've got old people. I'd have to put myself in that. But anyway, it's good fun and lots of laughs. Yeah.
You know, thanks, Deb. You know, it's just incredible the way people refuse to fit in with their stereotypes. It's a terrible thing. Hey, she thinks she's made a comment, but I'm going to turn past Governor Elaine Mead's comment into a question and get her to put it to you. Elaine, put your question about the AG, please.
Hi, Kira. Kia ora, koutou. My comment I put in the chat about the AG with those clubs that are got big losses going on. Yeah. The AG should really be pulled into that discussion too, so that they can work with them. Because if the AG isn't pulled in, the district has no idea, and then suddenly the governor's getting a left field blinder about a club that's handing back its charter. And if you think I'm talking from experience, I am.
Okay.
So that's the role of the AG. They are that coordinating link between the clubs and the district team, and one can't work successfully without the other. So
good point.
They need to be pulled into those conversations too.
Yeah, good.
Are you happy with that, Kiro?
I am very happy with that, Elaine. Thank you. And while we're here, Bill has a question. Over to you, please, Bill.
Okay, so Deb, why was passport originally put into the name if you're going to get rid of it? Did you have to?
No, we did not have to put it in, but we are the first we're the first new club in our district for, I think the other one was the Rolleston Club, which was about 2-3 years ago. And it was just something that we found on the My Rotary as an option. And then we thought, well, do we need the name? And we just felt for now, it showed that we were different to the traditional club. That's the only reason we kept passport. It's not to say over the next few years that we'll probably, a bit like the E-Club, we might find that we stop using it. But it does show that you've got a point of difference at the moment.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks, Bill, and thanks, Deb. The price of Rotary fees has become a very hot topic, and if we look at 4 of the last 6 membership voice stories we've had on, it's been cited as a key recruitment and retention issue in a bunch of different communities, with the most recent one being our Railacha Rotary Club. How does your club view this issue of membership fees? You've talked about cost and the like. What's the club's position?
Okay. We've tried to keep the cost down low compared to other clubs, and we've got it down, it's still money, 250. Okay, so there's not many clubs that I know of that are running at that price. We've also, and I only got this from listening to other membership voices and other club Zoom meetings, that give them the option of monthly payments, which makes it more affordable. We do need to look at, and then we've also agreed that we will probably, we are going to have any project that we do, fundraiser that we do, we're going to have up to 15% for club admin costs. And so whether we can use some of that we can maybe subsidise. And we're so new that if somebody brought up, well, hey, what are we going to do? It's still quite expensive. It might be that we have a fundraiser that might solely be club admin fees that we might be able to subsidise. I don't know, but nothing really scares us, and we just have a debate on it. But that's what we're doing for now, anyway.
One of the things that I advocated in the recent article presentation I made about a bunch of why is your club shrinking, where we covered the price of membership, is actually running an event, which I use the example of a market and calling it a festival of Rotary, is that if you get in things like all the youth programs to be represented and the like, you can not only turn it into a fundraiser, but quite possibly attract some new members as well, because we tend to sort of be a bit desperate and dateless in that regard, whereas what we have is a movement that's delivering wonderful things to the community, as yours is, as your club is, and we should really promote that view, because a bit of pride in this really goes a long way. But we've come to that moment. 3 minutes to go. Past Governor Deb Gimblett, little drum roll here. Why are you in Rotary?
Well, I think I said at the very beginning, I started in Rotary because I was new to town, knew nobody, we're in a new business, and I didn't particularly want to join, but I did, and it was the best thing for me. I have met so many neat people. Oh, it's amazing. I've had so many opportunities. I've travelled overseas because of Rotary. I've been to Tanzania, Uganda, Peru, Australia, the States on a friendship exchange where I got to meet more Rotarians and we're in contact with them still. They came out here. And I love being, and that's what I enjoy about this new club, I love being people of action. I love being able to go and put back and give back to my community. And really, really enjoy that. So yeah, that's why I'm still in Rotary. That's why I joined Rotary, and it's more so today. I just love what I do.
And I think that Rotary is a much richer movement for having you in it, Deb. So,
thank you.
Okay, big round of applause for Deb, please. Come on. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for being with us, and good night.